Welcome, Jets fans. We are back with the second video in our draft preview series. If you didn't catch the first one, it's probably easy to flip back and watch the first bit of that one where we explain what's going on. But essentially, we are here with Anth from Gangrene UK, and he is going to break down all the possible options for different position groups, and we're going to have a look at how they match up in his Jets lens that he has created. It's a really intense document, 290 odd pages. It's really impressive to read, and it's available for you guys. Just got to download it. They download it, Anth?
Yeah, it's in the files section on the Facebook group, which is obviously easy to join if you're not joined already. It will be on there from just before the Super Bowl.
Okay, we'll say that just before the Super Bowl.
Which gives everybody a hint of when we're recording these. But yeah, I've just got a little bit of editing to do, obviously, with some changes to coaches that I can do. That's not going to affect everything.
Yeah. So last time out, if you didn't watch it, in the first video, we went into the secondary. So we talked a lot about cornerbacks and safeties. We talked a lot about both those position groups in terms of who we have now, impending free agents, possible free agent signings, a little bit, and then we looked at the draft and where the Jets are positioned within the draft and who they could take in terms of players that really fit the specific mold of the types of players that Aaron Glenn's going to want, Darren Muji's going to want, and obviously our favourite little ducker, the new defensive coordinator, if he gets to say as well. So Anth, today we're just going to talk about linebackers.
That's fine.
Just going to talk about linebackers. So because I think it's important to do this one as a separate video, primarily because a lot of Jets guys are going to have the number 2 overall pick kind of slotted in for a linebacker anyway, and one particular linebacker who I'm sure we'll talk about. But also there was a lot of talk of the downturn of Jamie and Sherwood last year, the downturn of Quincy Williams last year. Probably going into this 2025 season, people might have said linebacker was a strength, and at the end of the season, they're probably saying it's a weakness. So I think it's a really interesting position group. So before we get into names, do you want to talk a little bit about the scheme that the Jets are likely to run in terms of linebackers? The middle linebackers, the weak side, the that kind of thing. What the setup's likely to be.
When you kind of look at the way that we've got, it's going to be a lot of range and intelligence. But Aaron Glenn and Muji both are very strong kind of Parcell-esque of, you have a role, do that role. If you're doing that role, everything will be fine. Yes, you will give up plays. It's football. That happens. But the main one I'm excited by, I would say, is that if Aaron Glenn is calling plays, we should see a little bit more of kind of like the same linebackers will stay on the field for 3 downs.
Right.
It will be
That's
all
rotation.
about communication between the front and the back. You're going to see some zone and man coverage, but it will be a lot of route coverage through that. And it will be close contact. There won't be mad chasing like there were last year, where it's chasing running backs who bust coverage and gone for 30 yards. That should be shut down in the way that these coaches have performed previous. The addition of Ducker and of Dunbar, which we'll get into on another day, that kind of solidifies kind of what these linebackers are going to be doing.
Right.
We are going to see, like we mentioned in the previous, a lot of nickel. So if a linebacker can cover a nickel position, or we can just go strong with the 2 that we've normally been going with. I'm excited to see it. I don't think much will change, but I think the requirements asked of them will change.
Will change, okay. So quickly before we get into specific players, just for anyone listening to this episode that maybe doesn't know the key differences between a 3-4 and a 4-3 and how that, and we're going to talk about D-line and edge in another episode, but just in terms of what's a 3-4, what's a 4-3, and which one do the Jets play?
So now you've just asked the major question. which this so a 4-3 and a 3-4 is very easy. A 4-3 is 4 at the front, so normally 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends.
Yeah.
With the 3 linebackers, or it could
So
be
you'd
2
have
linebackers.
a middle linebacker, sometimes called a Mike linebacker, and then 2 outside linebackers.
Yeah. The Jets notoriously over the last few years have mainly gone with 2 linebackers and an extra safety or an extra corner. That's a very big kind of like Salah thing. Then a 3-4 is 3 at the front and then 4 in the back with 2 middle
linebackers.
2 outside linebackers.
Yeah.
The difference being now is, so think back when we had Leonard Williams, we tended to play 3-4. We swapped to a 4-3. With the addition of Dunbar, it is potential, especially with the players that we have on roster at the minute, that the New York Jets will switch to a 3-4.
A 3-4, okay. So that changes things because, and we will talk about it, but it puts the emphasis on the middle guy of that 3 at the front, being the nose tackle, if you like, being a really important bit, which we will talk about in another episode. But it also puts more pressure on the linebacker room in terms of having an extra middle linebacker, effectively.
Yeah, or it's not so much having an extra, is because it's about the Jets having people that can control from the middle, who are good at the run stop, but then you're not asking them also to cover the edge.
Yeah.
Which we have been guilty of in the past, especially with the likes of Quincy
last
and
year,
Sherwood to a degree.
Yeah.
Now,
like you said, they're running all over the field, chasing guys who've broken through. And you think about the fact that you've got 4 up front, how are they getting through?
Everything about our hires so far on defense is saying we are going to have guys who need to be able to go side to side. They've got to be fit. They've got to have motors. Like, from yesterday's chat, in the lens, the motor comes up more often than anything else. I do believe we are going to see, I know there's many people out there massively disagree with me. I think Bill Parcells' defense will come out more this year.
Just in terms of the personnel that we've brought in.
Yeah, and one of his quotes was, if the linebacker room isn't right, nothing else works.
Yeah, which to me, that makes sense because it's kind of the middle, the heartbeat of the defense. And if you think about all great defenses in the history of the game, they've always had strong linebacker rooms. And listen, there's a reason why this is the only position group that we're doing a video just for this position group. Like all the other videos will be 2 different positions, like cornerback and safety is 2 different positions. We're going to do D-line, which is, defensive tackle and edge. That's 2 different positions. This is just the linebackers. So that shows how important it should be. And perhaps last season it was maybe not considered enough.
The last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm going to go out there and say it, right? I think Jamien Sherwood is an outstanding player.
Mm-hmm.
He is a terrible linebacker captain. His communication is not there yet. And this is not on him. He was forced into it because he was the best available when CJ Mosley went down.
Yeah.
The New York Jets defense, from the minute he got that green dot, has never lived up to the expectation of it.
Yeah.
It took longer to go down the year that we lost CJ because we were getting by. Last year, Jamien Sherwood was a shadow. And I like Sherwood as a player. I don't like him as a green dot.
No, I think a lot of people would agree with you. I was this close to buying a Sherwood jersey ahead of this last season because I loved him so much last season. I was so delighted when we paid him and brought him back, and making him a captain, not making a captain. That's the debate really, and there are people going, we're done with him, he's going to go. So look, let's segue in nicely then. So Jamien Sherwood, just based on with the change now with the new defensive coordinator, is he more or less like, or let me put it another way, is he a better fit for this new Jets defense than he was in last year's Jets defense?
Where do you want to play him, Mike or outside? So the addition of Ducker and Dunbar moved him from a I don't really care if you trade him or not box to we can actually use him as a sub-package chess piece. I don't think he's an every down back in this defense.
Right.
At the moment, he could be. And again, it's that same thing as Ari Thomas at cornerback. He's off season, and who he works with will dictate how well he plays next year. Now, the easier conversation is Quincy Williams.
Yeah, let's have that conversation then.
Quincy Williams as a weak side linebacker, absolutely. You can put him in every time because you're not asking him to do a lot. So those two guys, they do fit really well. Now, Quincy is a free agent. I don't know what type of money he's going to be asking for. Do we bring him back?
That depends on the money he's asking for, right?
Yeah. And
I mean, look, if we're going to the base argument might be if we need more bodies in that room now because we're playing a different system and we need more experience, we need consistency, then there is an argument to bring him back. But then the money, and also, as you say, if his role is, and it's a bit of a misnomer saying weak side linebacker, you don't think they're very important, because obviously everyone's important when they're in a scheme where they're being asked to do their job.
In that, he would be more like an outside, but then we've got Will McDonald who can do that.
Yeah, but Will McDonald will go strong side, outside linebacker.
Yeah, right? And then you've got JJ on the other. So there's lots of things. Like Quincy, for me, could be a cap casualty, which, let's face it, we've got the cap space. But he is an every down Will, right? What about if I said to you, you could have a rotational, like a reliable rotational Mike in place, probably cheaper.
Yeah, but I guess the identity of the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker as a middle linebacker, would depend heavily on the Sherwood situation, because we'd need somebody who can cover that communication skill, the captain element that Sherwood can't.
From our free agents, Marcelino McCrary-Ball.
No, he was a name that came up very much as a rotational piece last year, right?
Yeah, and I think he is still an absolute legit option as a rotational Mike.
Right, so he's safe at the moment, right?
Well, he's a free agent, so Quincy
he's not going to get paid a lot in free agency. No one's going to. I
wouldn't imagine so. So both of those guys could receive options. I think Quincy's going to want more money, so he will probably drop out. McCrary-Ball can play, but I don't think you want him in every down. Then the other guys that we've got, right, most of them are going free agency, right?
Well, who do we have? So, Michael Williams, is he one of them?
Yeah, Michael Williams, Kobe King, Kiko
Mayoga. Yeah.
And then Cam Jones.
Okay.
Who we all know really like Cam Jones. The guy's super humble, really nice guy. Actually introduced himself as Cam, nothing else. I was like, do you mean like 2-time Super Bowl winning Cam Jones? Like, put some respect on your name.
Yeah. He doesn't think about that, does he? He's just Cam.
Yeah, and then Kiko is the only one still under contract. And actually, he's a really good physical depth piece. I'm happy with him.
How's his fit? How does this fit with the new system? Kiko's fit?
He's a physical depth piece. He's strong. Use him in the right system and give him defined role. He's all right. Don't put him in there and say, do what you need to do, which is what we did to Sherwood last year. All the guys that we have like that kind of Salah, this is your role, do that. And I think last year we kind of lost that. Then
it was more reactive than proactive, wasn't it, as a defense? And
it was just a case of just stop them getting anywhere. We don't want them to do that. So then Kobe King, he's insurance. He's fourth on the depth chart. He might make the roster, but he's probably going to be a camp body, if anything.
Yeah.
Michael Walker is a dude, but I think his football IQ to play solely as a middle or an outside isn't quite there.
Okay.
And then Cam Jones, I would only use him in base. So I wouldn't ask him to do anything outside of like normal. But Cam has got special teams possibilities. That's pretty much all the guys we've got on the roster.
It's not a particularly deep room, is it? When you think about it,
No,
you
we
think
only
about
have 7, but we're only playing 2 at a time. So having 7 is still a lot.
But
Now,
none of those 7 sort of jump out and go, "Oh, this is the guy we can build that part of the defense around." And that's maybe the bigger issue.
Not at this moment.
Not at this moment in time.
If we went in with that room there, we'd be like, yeah, we just need a backup. Awesome. Now, that's when it gets interesting, right? Because currently, off what I can see, we have not brought in any linebackers on future contracts.
Really, right. So, and that could change, obviously, because the whole defense is
Yeah. I mean, that's
retooling right now anyway with the new coaches. So all those conversations, I'm sure, are taking place in Florham Park at the moment. But right now, it's certainly an issue, and you certainly, there's nobody within that room that makes you go, "Oh, brilliant! That's great. Let's lock that down, and then let's build around it." So I know one name, and we're not going to focus too heavily on free agency because it's like we said yesterday, it's how long is a piece of string with free agency. There are other teams involved. There are other contracts being waived in front of players, so it's a very difficult thing to sort of predict. But there is one name that's been very heavily linked with the Jets because of his history. So we'll talk a little bit about him and what he would potentially do to the room, and that's Anzalone from Detroit. So, Anth, what are your thoughts on how his potential arrival? What does that do to the room, the linebacker room?
Ages it significantly.
Experience, mate. Experience.
No, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alex Anzalone's been in the league a while. He's a great control player. He plays the position very well. He's not a superstar, but he can play both weak and middle. The thing I like about him, he's got good football IQ and he's a good veteran voice.
Which is exactly what potentially you need alongside Jamie and Sherwood.
He's 32-year-old. He's got maybe a season, maybe 2 left in him. But we're not looking at him as a long-term solution. We're looking at somebody who can coach Sherwood like Mosley did. Like, teach him the way this defense is going to run. He knows this defense. He played under Glenn.
Yeah.
And Ducker. I think Ducker was there as well. So he can
Anzalone,
do that.
That is. Anzalone's played under Ducker. Yeah.
So it's one of those, right? The thing we've got to remember, he's a good signal caller, right? He can do base and early down packages. He's not great in coverage. I mean, he's getting on a bit. He doesn't want to be chasing.
Yeah, but then if you've got 4 in there, and you've got a little bit more flexibility in the safety room in terms of playing nickel and what have you, then you've got a little bit of insurance. And as you say, having a wise old head, let's call him, you'll get better production out of Sherwood. You'll get better production out of the outside linebackers.
Put it this way, I would not be upset because he's breakdown in the lens, right? So the things that we're looking at is he's processing his IQ, his communication, his run fits, his zone coverage, his main coverage ability, and his overall projection from that.
Yeah.
So his processing is high, which is super green.
We need,
Communication, super high and green.
Great.
His run fit is strong because obviously he's getting on a bit, so his step is a little bit slower. His zone coverage is adequate. Like I said, he's not that guy. He's not your side to side. But we have 1,000,001 side to sides. His man coverage limited. But if your middle linebacker is needed to do man-to-man coverage, I would question what your nickels and corners are doing.
Exactly, yeah.
Then his overall projection is strong to moderate. The moderate being that we have to play his role.
Yeah, you got to play his way. Yeah.
We can't say to him.
If he fits with the way that we want to play anyway.
Yeah. So if currently we say our floor is a 4, right?
Is a what? Sorry.
Is a 4.
Yeah.
If we play the players that we've got, our linebackers are going to be a 4 out of 10. Adding Anzalone to that room moves it to a 6.
Great. So it just makes it solid. It's not lights out, but
he's not going to lights out it.
It's solid.
I've looked at the kind of like there are some huge names available
in free agency.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying this about Anzalone. He's 32, right? He played 90% of the snaps for Detroit last year, right?
Which is a crazy number, by the way. 90% of the snaps.
He's going to be needing 5 to 7 million a year minimum, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying
he's worth that.
Old.
He's worth that. If his presence then allows Sherwood to step up and be a more valuable player, a better player, then you know.
Anzalone is a very similar player to an ex-Jet.
Which one?
Who currently is becoming a free agency. And he's 37-year-old Demario Davis.
Do you know what? I saw him being interviewed the other day and I was like, I'd still love him back. But he's gonna end up back at the Saints, isn't he?
I think if he doesn't retire, I mean, he's nearly 40. How many linebackers make it to 40? I mean, he's already, he's 37, sorry.
That's nearly 40. I think that counts as nearly 40 in athletic terms.
But then you've got Bobby Wagner with a VW. He's 36 and he played almost the same for the Commanders. So
90% of snaps.
He got 99.4% of the snaps.
No, he didn't. Did he really?
So then you look at that and go, so some of these guys are putting in numbers.
Yeah.
If they look after themselves, which
so you compare that to Anzalone and go, well, Anzalone's only 32, so he could have 5-6 years left.
We might be able to give him a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
Front load it because we've got a bit of money at the minute, with an easy out after 2.
Yeah.
So I'm not against that. I mean, there's younger guys out there where you go, oh, maybe. Nobody even knows.
Is there anyone? I know, obviously, with the free agents, you haven't done quite as much putting them through the system. But is there anyone that stands out that you think, you know what, it'd be fun to see how he fits in the Jet lens, or are we sort of parking it?
There is a player that would never come to us.
Go on.
And I mean, I don't particularly like him. I think he was a horrible person. But
good start.
I think he fits that defense kind of what we're looking for really well. Matt Milano from the Bills.
Oh,
everybody hates him.
I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't support him.
We could also look at Jamal Adams, who's transferred to a linebacker now.
How old is he? 31. Yeah, I don't know. I remember watching him play.
You could also go Nakobe Dean from the Eagles. He's a free agent this year. And
how old is he? He's 20-something.
Is 26.
Yeah, so I remember him coming out of college, and I liked him coming out of college because he dropped all the way to the 3rd round, didn't he?
Yeah, but he only played 35% of the snaps for the Eagles.
Is that injuries? Is that?
I don't recall. I mean, somebody who's listening will be able to tell us. But I'm looking at it going, there's nobody on there outside of those few that I'm like, I want to know more about you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll park free agency there, and if same comment as the last video. If there's a player you know in free agency as a Jet fan, and you're like, it would be real. I'd love to have this guy in the room, whether it's Nakobe Dean or somebody else. Then pop it in the comments underneath the video, and Anth will put it through the Jet lens, or download the Jet lens and do it yourself. Pop it through the Jet lens and see how he comes out, and use that to sort of, build your own big board going into what we're going to talk about now, which is the draft. And this 24 minutes into this video is where I think it gets really interesting for a lot of guys, because a lot of people watching, because there is a very obvious name that we're going to talk about very shortly as a potential draft pick. I think it's, from what we've said so far, we are almost certainly going to be addressing linebacker at least once in the draft somewhere, right? Almost certainly.
Yeah, I can say yes on that.
Yeah, it's almost, you're almost saying it and going, well, look, it's somewhere in those first few picks, there'll be a new linebacker in a Jets uniform. So let's talk about that. Now, just a little recap for the listeners of what we're dealing with. We talked a little bit about linebackers that are going to go very early, so first round picks, really 2 and 16. Maybe there's a guy you trade back a little bit, maybe there's a guy you trade up a little bit, but a first round talent. Then you've got the mid rounds, which is either trading back from 33 or trading up from 104, and anywhere in that range, a second and a third rounder. And then you've got your late round picks, which is where we've got 175 and onwards, where I think we've got 2/5 and I've got 1/5, 2/6 and a 7 or something like that. But they're all late round flyer type.
Yeah, I mean we've got 192, 206, 210, 218, 242. That's our 7th and 6th rounders.
Right, and we got 175 as well.
178.
178. Right.
175, 178.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch. We've got a bunch sort of north of 175 being the start of that, and that run from 175 really through to the end of the draft is where you're sort of taking a flyer on a prospect, and that's actually really interestingly where the lens comes in, because you might be able to get a guy that maybe doesn't project as well into a different type of defense, and therefore is sitting there. But for the Jets, he's going to work. So we'll talk about that. But we'll start at the top with the name that everyone's expecting. With the 2nd overall pick, Anth, the Jets may select who?
I mean, I have 2 elite fits.
But there's, okay, yeah. We pretty much know what they are. But the first of those is probably one of those is probably the guy that you would take at 2 overall.
Yeah, well, only one of them are an Ohio State player.
Yeah. We know. So, we can say the name. It's fine. It's not bad luck.
Well, no, because obviously the number 2 linebacker is also Ohio State.
Is Sonny Styles, right? But
he is not the one we're talking about. Arvell Reese, in my opinion, is the best overall football player in this draft.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's
a very easy pick when you're doing a mock draft, and Mendoza goes 1st overall, and we're 2nd overall pick. The easy thing to do is to go Reese, boom, right, done, move on.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I cannot say it. I would go mental if we got him. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Ohio State fans that would go mental. I know a lot of Michigan fans that would even be quite happy too.
Yeah.
Because he is a 3-down Mike linebacker. His processing's elite. His coverage is really good. His range and speed is really good. His toughness is solid. He would become a defensive spine. With Anzalone and Sherwood there, I mean, no guarantees on Sherwood, as we've just said.
Yeah.
He could be a green dot potential in the future.
Yeah. Now, we're not putting too much pressure on him, but he's that good of a prospect.
Well, the way we're talking, we're not going to be putting pressure on him because he's going into a team that could have Anzalone. We've already got players. He is just a player that when we put him in, he just kind of clicks in. I mean, my one-liner on him is a high IQ 3-down linebacker with range, coverage ability, and processing speed who fits perfectly as the Jets' defensive spine. He would become the player that we build the New York Jets defense
around. Yeah, and we talked about earlier about the importance of, in a Parcells-style system, the importance of the linebackers, and therefore having that central cog piece, if you like, that everything else sort of rotates around in terms of style.
You've got to think about it, right?
Would you call Anzalone that? Probably not. Would you call Sherwood that? Almost certainly not. But you could call an Arvell Reese that. So Reese is a solid pick. Let's be clear. You are not getting Arvell Reese at 16. So if you're drafting him for the Jets, you're taking him at 2. He's not going to make it to 16.
You are. However, this guy may be one of the most attractive prospects in this draft.
Oh, this is a different guy. This is your linebacker too.
No. I'm talking Arvell Reese here.
Arvell Reese, yeah.
Right? I would not be surprised if the Jets are not fielding calls.
Oh, I'm sure they are, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they are. But then if they're fielding calls to give that player up, and if they're giving that player up,
what are we going to get there?
Excuse me?
For him. I mean, we've just said he is a spine player. I mean, he's absolutely... He comes from Ohio, so we know they play a pro-ready like defense.
Yeah.
He can stay on the field every which way we set it up.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is with him, when he's in the middle of the field, the offense have to watch him. They have to spy him. If they're spying him, that means that Malachi Moore, that means that our cornerbacks can move behind him and be disguised on what they're going to do because they cannot risk taking their eye off him. He is that type of player. Now,
so we want him, but you're talking about possibly trading back. And if we do trade back, then the question mark I would then have is, we're trading back because someone else is going to take him, right? And therefore, what other linebackers are available? Beautifully segueing on to our other potential elite fit. You said you had another one who's an elite fit.
He is, and it is not Sonny Styles, who is a great player, by the way. Now, when I'm saying this guy's an elite fit, I'm just checking on the long list of where he actually fits, right? Numbers-wise, because in reality, this linebacker is the 28th player. So it is very likely that this guy would be there at 16.
Yeah.
So if you've got another position that you think, I like that guy, and you don't want Arvel Reese, but maybe somebody in 5 or 6 does, you can still get this player, I think.
Could you potentially get him at 33?
No, I won't drop that far.
Okay, he won't drop that far. What's his name? Put us out of our misery.
Right, so it's CJ Allen, linebacker at Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going out there with a wild one. Like,
not yet.
Yeah, he's linebacker 3.
But you think he's a better fit than Sonny Styles?
Yeah, because he's green across the board. He's a high-end Jets linebacker, simple enough. He's a clean.
Is he a Mike? Is he an edge, an outside? Sorry, or...
So he can play inside and weak side. He can stay on the field in all packages, communication adjustment. He can do all of that. He can anchor the second level if needed. He's a high IQ, fast processing linebacker who fits perfectly in a modern 3-down Jets Mike Will position.
So the scenario is, if we don't get Arvel Reese for whatever reason, and then we go and we take CJ Allen at 16, or maybe we trade back into the very early 20s, pick up a bit of capital, and then take CJ Allen, we're still doing a merry dance.
Yeah. Like I say, I would not be unhappy with that at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go further back in the draft. Who else is there? If we're talking that mid-round range, sort of second round or trading back in the third, is anyone there that's an elite fit or a very strong fit?
Yeah, a lot of them are strong. It's a deep class.
Is there any more elite? Let's rule that out first.
No. So there's only the 2 elite players in this draft, through my lens, which isn't going to be perfect. There is one. Of course it is, Anth.
Come on.
There is one to stay massively away from, which is the Oregon linebacker Bryce Botecker or Boche. Okay. However you say it. One, because he's got a rock hard name to say, but. There is one player, right, which I can almost say, right, I don't think he's going to be a superstar. However, I don't think he's going to bust at all. I don't think there's any chance of it.
So it's a very high floor.
Yeah, he's his processing is elite, his coverage is strong, his range is strong, his toughness, questionable. Yeah. It's all right. And it's Turian York from Texas.
I like Turian York. Yeah.
And he's a low bust rotational linebacker.
So he's probably realistically, you wouldn't take him higher than 44, which is our second round pick. You'd ideally like if he dropped at 104, you'd run the card up, but ideally you want him somewhere between there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him as a high IQ assignment sound linebacker who processes quickly, tackles reliably, and provides low variance value. So essentially, he's Sherwood.
Right. Yeah. So if we're losing Sherwood, we're getting a cheaper version, if you like, in the draft. Yeah.
But he can play nickel as well, so there is a bonus there.
Bit of flexibility there. Can I throw a name at you about a guy that I've watched a lot of tape on and I really like? Is the Cincinnati Bearcat. His name's just completely gone from my head. Oh, there we go. Yeah. How's this fit?
Strong. I've got him as linebacker 5 on my
Great.
board. I like
similar
him.
sort of range to York.
Yeah, his coverage is adequate. His toughness adequate, but he's strong in range and processing. So he's again a low variance interior depth piece.
Great.
Like he's a 3-down Mike. I'm just gonna try and get his one liner up. I've just got to squeeze through because like this document is so massive.
It's too big. It's too big.
It's not. It's just that I've got it on a scroll. So a steady assignment sound linebacker who tackles reliably and provides low variance depth in a modern Jets defense. So again, he's probably not going to bust.
Yeah. So again, we've got in that mid range, we've got a lot of those guys that are maybe a high floor but a relatively low ceiling.
Yeah, it's one of those where you look at it and go, you've got to look at the rest of the room and go, right, who have we got for what? Because, like Josiah Trotter from Mizzou, he can like really just stabilize. He's like a rookie version of Anzalone at the minute. I'm not saying he's going to develop into that, but he has potential.
Yeah, but he has potential to be a leader in the room.
I mean, obviously, as an LSU fan,
Harold
I have
Perkins.
to mention Mr. P, who, in my opinion, doesn't fit as much as I wanted him to. Like I really wanted it. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a strong to moderate fit. He's a high impact.
I think he's a much later pick, though. I think he's potentially going to be available at about 104 or wherever that 4th round pick is. He won't get into the late ones.
I've got him as linebacker 8. Right,
which puts him on the big board. Where does that put him?
Oh, it's further down than I thought.
Go on. I'm thinking 90 to 120.
Tell you what, you're not far off.
Go on.
I don't know. I'm still finding him, but I've just got to 120. No, I must have passed him there. Yeah. 1 second. Perkins. Find. I don't know why I don't. It's 95 I've got him at.
95. There we go. Yeah, that's about where I thought he'd be. So yeah, I think he's, again, we talk about those mid-range guys. All right, let's talk about, we don't take a linebacker. Maybe we've got one in free agency, or maybe we take our second overall, but we still need another one, and we get all the way into those 170s, 200 range. Who have we got right at the bottom of the draft? A little bit of a free hit. Is there anyone there that stands out for you?
I mean, there's two. Yeah, two. One of them just because I want to sign Justin Jefferson.
Right.
So Justin Jefferson from Alabama is a Mike early down.
All right, so not that Justin Jefferson, a different Justin Jefferson. Okay.
He can be he's more useful in a run stop play. He's great run stopper. He's that kind of guy, which
was a big need for us last year.
Yeah, and it's one of those where I kind of look at it and go, right, he's got all the buildings to kind of build on, but his coverage, again, is like Anzalone. He's not great in coverage, but he could do that. He's an interior linebacker. He fits the run. He'll play early downs, and he's tough enough to hold it out. A physical run-first linebacker whose value comes from early down toughness rather than coverage versatility.
Great. But look, if you're getting him at anything north of 175, we talked about earlier, which is where you'd get him, then...
I think this might even be higher.
What do you mean, like as in a UDFA?
And yeah, because...
Undrafted free agent.
I found an easier way to do it. I'm not going to lie. Don't know why I didn't do this prior. I have him at 203.
203. So he's in a good range there, that he's someone, because that's the thing about having so many picks in that range. You said we had 175, 178, 190 something.
From 172 to 207.
We've got
there is 3.
Yeah.
4 if you want to. The USC linebacker Eric Gentry. I could take or leave, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But there are
Jefferson would be good. Was there another one?
I mean, Red Murdoch from
Red
Buffalo.
Murdoch's a name we've heard of before. Yeah, he
Yeah,
had a good
I mean,
senior
it's
bowl,
just
so he's probably starting to move up draft boards a bit.
I think, like I say, my big board of 250 came a lot further out than where a lot of people are now. Like my quarterbacks, I did week 3 of the college season.
Yeah,
and it hasn't really changed that much. But with Murdoch, he's kind of like a physical downhill linebacker, great tackler, but he's an early downs back again. So
you can stack the room. So I think what the bottom line with the linebackers for the draft is there is a guy right up at the top that's elite. There are other options right through the draft. So it's a position that we need to address, but more importantly, it's a position we can address right through the draft because there's strength in depth and where the available players are kind of suits where the Jets picks are. So we can go, it'll be a really interesting pick to monitor as we go through the draft. It might be that we get somebody in free agency, Sherwood stays, and then we draft Arvell second overall, and you kind of go, all right, well, maybe that's it for linebacker. Do you know what I mean? But the chances are it's one we're going to be keeping our eye on. So that was fun, mate.
Oh, enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we park the linebacker conversation until April?
No, I mean, like I say, I would be happy with Reese. I would be happy with Allen. I'm not against Anthony Hill.
Texas, yeah.
Texas. Yeah. So any of the 4 top linebackers fit us within the first 3 picks.
Yeah. But you'd say Sonny Styles is probably rated higher by some than he should in terms of the fit for the Jets. Whereas maybe CJ Allen isn't, so maybe he's the one to look out for.
You've got to think Sonny Styles is a bit more of a hybrid outside linebacker, So that's not necessarily what we're looking for with the team that we have at the minute, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's almost a lovely segue. Say again.
That might all go out the window soon.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can change. It can all change. But that is almost a lovely segue into the fact that we are going to be talking about edge rushers and defensive line in the next video. So, like I said last time, if you haven't already clicked to the next video, you can click to the next video. And that's going to be the last one on defense. And our last 2 videos, we're going to be talking about tight ends and running backs, and then quarterbacks and wide receivers. So, Anne, thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Like I said, you can always pop a name, either a draft prospect or a free agent prospect, in the comments on whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. And Anth will do his best to look through those and give you his breakdown, give you his analysis. And you can always download the Jet Lens yourself from where again, Anth?
It'll be on the files section of the Facebook page.
Files section of the Facebook page, Gangrene UK on Facebook. And thank you very much. And to everyone out there listening and watching, JTS, and we'll see you in the next one.